Alrighty.
All right, yo, it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo, and we are back in the World of Boridil, the Ruination of Boridil. Looks like everything's good to go on the stream. So, last session, the party had fought Shaggy Vanessa, or who they thought was Shaggy Vanessa. They actually have no idea who they truly fought, but, I guess they know who they fought. They don't know who they killed, because I'll give you a little hint. The person inside of the coffin was not Shaggy Vanessa, which they saw after they killed her, which she was in the form of Three-Toed Jim's wife that it actually turned into Ricard. But it's also not Ricard. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Anyway, today the party should be returning back to the town, and I plan on having that hag come and talk to them, or that old woman rather. She's not a hag, but she was possessed by a hag, so it should be a good time. So hopefully you enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into it.
It was 75 degrees today. It was
Lucky.
really rough on Monday. So we have 2 AC units.
You guys got as hot as we did, right?
We were 108.
Ew.
So
My car
we don't
was
have AC at our
115 when I
house,
got into it
which
yesterday.
is the only problem, right? So we went to my parents, they have it, and we came back and we had these 2 AC units were running in our bedroom, and when we got back, they tripped the breaker, and so it was 98 degrees in our bedroom at like 10
Oh
o'clock.
my god.
And it was 88 outside, I think. So, yeah, I ran an extension cord and had them both going, and I think by midnight it got to like 75, and we're able to fall asleep. But yeah, that was a really sad moment when we got in our house. We're like, oh god, it's so terrible, and we're like, but we can go upstairs, and we did, and it was, that was a sad moment.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Hopefully
We
it's all
made it
fixed
out,
now,
though.
though.
Oh yeah, it just, I put them both on the same circuit, which they had been going for at least, I mean, while I was working, so 8 hours they were going, but I guess it just got too hot and they both kicked on, or maybe there was a power surge or something that tripped the circuit breaker.
Yeah.
Wish I would have
Right.
done it earlier, because it
I
wasn't
know,
hard to
right?
run an extension cord.
All right.
Hey, nerds, how come my Bluetooth headphones, I can hear Discord, but I cannot hear Foundry and Google Chrome?
The only thing I could think of is that your Discord is set to the headphones as its default device for you to hear, and the rest of your system is not.
Yeah, so you have to go to your
The-
sound settings and default your audio to your headphones.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that in the
And-
mixer or the settings?
If you go down to the little icon down at the bottom and click that, that should change it to whatever default you're going to use.
Yeah, so you hit speakers, and then it'll show the little arrow and what it's currently defaulted as the audio device everything goes to.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We're
I knew you
nerds,
guys-
so. Okay. So, last time we left our heroes, you guys had gotten to the town of Bleakbell and started doing a little bit of exploring. And during that exploration, it brought all of you to a cottage just outside of the town of a woman, otherwise known to Jim as a hag, a Shaggy Vanessa, who was this very old, frail woman, just hanging out in her garden, doing stuff, notably deaf, or at least very hard of hearing. And you guys went to go speak with her because from what Three-Toed Jim was able to gather is she's the one that knows the location of his toe. And you guys were there to help out. She offered you guys tea and some biscuits, which only 2 of you partook. The rest of you stayed back, stayed away from it because you weren't sure. Do we trust this old woman? And wouldn't you know it, you shouldn't have, because she then turned into this sort of mummified corpse, and the whole scenery around you, the whole atmosphere had changed into this bleak, dreadful sort of gray color outside with overcast. Everything was run down, broken, rusted, rotted, whatever. And this mummified corpse started to essentially mock Three-Toed Jim, and started to toy with his emotions about his family not going to be able to make it, and things of that nature. Very bleak stuff for Bleak Bell, of course. But you guys ended up going to the location that she had told you about before this whole event had occurred, and you went to a cave that was north of the town on the coast. And along that way, Jimothy had many different sort of you could call them visions, but they were so real. But his anger helped to essentially push through, even though I believe it brought a few tears to his eyes. But inevitably you guys got into this cave and started to walk down and descend into the cave, which brought you into this sort of like small cove. And inside you couldn't see anything without the aid of Dr. Thorpe's blade, as it had shown light for those of you that do not have dark vision. And inside you were greeted with a familiar voice, one that greeted you as Shaggy Vanessa. And she told you that she's glad that you came. She was starting to get hungry or something like that. And she sent Sharks and Sahagin and Amaro to fight you guys before revealing herself as our good old boy Lloyd had popped in right in front of a patch of seaweed. Very unsuspecting, but it had actually been Shaggy Vanessa, sort of in a, I don't know, not polymorph, but a disguised state. And Lloyd and Jimothy actually both ended up becoming frightened by Shaggy Vanessa at some point during the battle. And because of her horrible visage, her dreadful gaze, she was able to knock them unconscious, reducing them to almost the verge of death. But the party ultimately persevered, and Shaggy Vanessa fled the scene after Jim had turned into a giant shark because of Frederick. Was it Frederick that cast polymorph, or was it actually Lloyd? I forget.
It was the bird.
Yeah, the bird, yeah.
I think the
Okay,
bird
so-
did it.
That was correct. Okay, cool. So yeah, Frederick had used the Ring of Spell Storing charge of the polymorph spell and had turned Jimothy into a giant shark. This giant-ass shark started to chase Shaggy Vanessa underneath the water, which eventually she was able to cast a spell and disappear. The battle had ended at that point, and you all had gone in deeper into the cove to essentially explore and see what else you could find. And as you started to climb this sort of staircase, you found this crypt covered in a coral reef, very, very immaculate and beautiful. And inside of the crypt, you found the grave, the casket, I guess you would say, beautifully embroidered and carved out of some merfolk princess. None of the rest of you know, but Kai knows that this is Cyrene. She was a princess back in whatever time he came from, which Kai would know exactly what year he used to live in, but I don't think he's ever asked what year it is currently. But Kai nonetheless knows that this is the tomb of Cyrene, one of his old party members that he traveled with when the demon incursion had begun way back in the day. Other than that, you guys opened up the casket, and inside, a halfling woman, under the guise of Jimothy's wife, had reached out and begged for mercy, begged for her life. But everyone could sort of see through to the disguise and could tell that this definitely was not Jimothy's wife whatsoever, and Jimothy slayed her. But as the head started to roll off of the corpse, it started to change into that of Ricard, the Inquisitor that was sent to this location to investigate what the madness that the Inquisition has been told about. What exactly is it, and how can they prevent it? And that is where we left the party. That is where we left off last session, and that is where we will begin. So, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at your new axe yet. I don't think I put it. Okay. In theory, you haven't actually attuned, or do you have to attune to it? I don't think you do. Yeah, so you don't have to attune to it, and I'll say that, 10 minutes of holding it and playing around with it, you end up learning exactly what it does. So for all intents and purposes, you should be able to utilize it. I'll double check the formulas to make sure they're good to go. That skull, on the other hand, does require attunement.
Yeah, but I don't know what it does.
Correct. But as it's or no, I think it does require attunement for the Lich Slayer. No, I'll have to look it up again, because it doesn't say on the card, which leads me to believe it doesn't. But anyway, so yeah, Jimothy currently has his axe hovering above the corpse of what looks to be Ricard, but he does not have a mask on. And the thing you see about Ricard without a mask is that half of his face is covered in what looks to be some sort of like burn markings, blisters and things like that. But he's got the look of horror, as if, the single swipe from Jimothy's axe, he saw his life flash before his eyes, right before his final moment.
I walk up and squat down and observe the body.
All right. Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Here we go.
So as you look over the body, you indeed see the various pouches and vials that Ricard had on him. You see his mace. You also see his what looks to be either a diary or perhaps a holy tome that he carried around. Then you've seen it many times before. It does have the exact same symbol on the cover of it as the symbol that you carry that you were given by Gower. You see his robes. You can see scratch marks within the robes. They're torn in certain places by some type of slashing motion. But other than that, the only thing different about this Ricard is not only is he headless now, but he also doesn't have a mask, and you can actually see his face and facial features.
Okay. Take the tome or take that diary.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Two things. One for DM. How many charges did I gain from slaying that? Whether I killed whatever Vanessa or
Yeah.
Ricard.
Weapon gain equal to
Or
the
both.
maximum spell slot. Okay, yeah.
I feel like I should get, since I killed Vanessa and Ricard, I should get both of their spell slot.
Perhaps, but you have 6 charges to it.
6 charges.
Yeah. Which what we can do is
I'll
you
put
can
it in my
either
attributes.
Okay, yeah.
It's a resource.
Resource number 2, that'll be the easiest, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Let me bring us. Let me bring us.
Does it have a max? I can figure that out.
It can hold 9, I believe.
It is 9.
Oh, and let me also change this music because
Cool.
we are in a cave.
Now I saw Dr. Thorpe kind of examine his body. Can I go like did he like check his pockets and shit?
Yes.
Or like what? Okay. I think I would like to grab his mask.
He does not have a mask.
Oh, you
Yeah, so
I thought
if
he
you
dropped the
remember
mask. My bad. My bad. Yeah. I remember now.
And
go ahead.
with that, Brady, what did we pick up from the inn? We got his robes, his mask, and his book.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I put his. Was there anything else we got from that? I thought there was.
You found 2 vials. One of them
yes,
was empty, but the other had just a slight bit of something left.
Okay. I forgot to write that in my journal.
Oh yeah, you're good. Actually, I think I have. I'm gonna give Ricard HP. If you zoom into his face, you should be able to see. Because if I just show the image, it won't do it properly.
Oh shit. Did you hear that I asked what happened with my toe?
Oh, yeah. You
My
grabbed your
audio
toe. Yeah, I didn't hear you ask about it, though.
Yeah, my audio is kind of cutting out.
But with your toe...
So I just have it.
Yeah, currently you just have it. And from what you remember being told is that your eldest would be free since you found your first toe. And the rest of them would suffer for your decision.
Cool. That's what I just didn't know if it was gonna magically attach and I had to change my name to Four Toe Jim or.
I was gonna go up to Dr. Thorpe. Do you still have the mask in your hand?
Yes. I pulled a mask out.
So I look at the mask, and I look at the body, and I'm gonna ask Dr. Thorpe, well, what does this mean now? They're gonna be expecting him, right?
Indeed.
It means he died in the line of duty. I don't think this will be a first for them.
Indeed.
Yeah, but aren't they watching us?
In a way, I don't know if they're watching us like bird's eye view all the time, but they were communicating through him.
And it also makes it more
And if he-
complicated that Jim has struck him down.
Yeah, but he wasn't really himself now, was he? But they wouldn't know that.
But his seems like these hacks trying to mess with us. So I wouldn't be surprised if they still ever happened to him,
No, not us.
even if he wasn't fully himself.
They not messing with us.
And again, though, I guess we don't fully understand how he was giving them their information, though, too.
No, I mean, I have his book here, and I'll need to take time to look at it, but maybe there's a spell there he was using.
And I also have his journal, so I'll take a look at that.
Yeah. But regardless, was this entire town just an illusion? By this hag? Is...
It would seem so.
I mean,
But
Wait.
if questions are asked, we may have to come up with a plan of how to avoid any possible trouble for the future.
well, I know I'm being tailed for sure and hunted. I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't know if this will indict you for anything else. But,
I'm sure it will.
I still need to travel north to where that the stone from the skies, have been falling.
I thought you mentioned that. Was that in Bleak Bell? Or was it north of Bleak Bell? Or Yeah.
Lloyd, the only information you have is that the stone fell around the perimeter of Bleak Bell. You don't exactly have the specific location of where it struck, but you do know that the people of Bleak Bell are the ones that found it.
Yeah, I would have to go and try and find someone that would know about it, but I'm not sure how difficult that's going to be at this point. So, I'm still going to search regardless.
I'm gonna take Ricard's mace.
All right. You can add a generic mace to your sheet.
And so, on the map I see there's a doorway. I just need to clarify, is there a doorway that it's in the game with us, or is it just part of the scenery we see here? That's not actually part of the setting.
Are you talking about the doorway with Ricard there?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's essentially, that door was containing the crypt. So that door is open right now, and the crypt is also open.
And he was in the
Ricard's
crypt.
body. Correct.
Okay. And she was using his body, correct?
Correct. Yeah, from what you can see, yes.
Kind of. Yeah. From what we gathered. Okay. So do we just leave him here? I mean, I don't really want to spend any more time here that we have to, but at the same time,
I'm nervous. Wait. I don't know. I'm nervous that he'll be reanimated from all the shit I've seen.
Yeah, I was worried that too. She'd use his body. I mean, we could cremate his body or something so she couldn't animate it anymore.
Know the proper rituals for burying his goddesses dead?
I wouldn't be familiar with how they do they practice their religion.
You know, it's gonna look bad regardless, so is it gonna gain us favor that we're bringing his body back, or?
I wouldn't say bring his body back, but at least get it out of here so it can't be used.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more complicated because he was supposed to be I'll hold up air quotes, traveling companion for us. I would assume he was supposed to be unharmed.
Well, regardless of if he's being unharmed or not, they would most likely blame you guys since they knew he was traveling with you.
Of course.
I'm thinking what we should do is take his body to... When we go check out the town, see if it's still an illusion, like the illusion is broken, or if there was an illusion there to begin with. I don't know what's going on there, but...
Yeah, who knows which one was the illusion, right?
But say that...
She said everybody was dead.
Yeah, to say that is true, I feel as if we should make a grave somewhere, kind of off where people get off port, and maybe leave a sign or something, or a disclaimer to those that come. I don't know if that would even help, because the witch is still obviously we didn't get the body, so I don't know.
I know we need to see what's become of the town, what really is going on. So I'll see what kind of trouble we really are in, you know.
I say we take his body, then make a pyre or something outside of town, for sure. Though
That's a good idea.
Works for me.
Let's see. I'm very
What about
motivated to
what
meet
about
face to
the
face
lady
with
that's
Gower.
buried here?
well, that what you say?
What about the
Who
lady
you-
that's buried in the tomb? Do we just leave her there too?
The body that you see in the tomb is wrapped in like what looks to be like sort of like sacred wrappings of some sort, but has since withered enough to the point where you can tell it's literally skin and bone.
Okay.
And it
leave
looks,
her there then.
besides the new bloodstains from Ricard's corpse, it looks relatively untouched by anyone, including whatever the entity had put in here.
How lit up is the tomb?
The only light source you have is Thorpe's blade.
Okay. I want to check the owl. I forget what they have for vision, if they have dark vision or not.
It is dark vision, 120 feet.
Okay. Well, I want to take a little seat and then go into my owl and then have them look inside the the tomb.
Okay.
I just want to investigate, see if I see anything written on the walls, anything of interest.
The only thing you do see is written. Let me see, actually. Does anyone speak this language? If you're able to tell me what I said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
you can see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it worked. Hold on, let me do it this way.
I
Yeah,
can
because
see it
I
as
only
well.
speak common and halfling, so
Yeah, it probably didn't work the way you wanted it to.
There it
I
goes.
cannot read that.
Okay.
I had to-
can't read that shit.
Yeah, whenever I type in a
No.
different language, I have to be on a token, so. So, yeah, you do see what looks to be some sort of inscriptions. And they're very fluid in their form. Almost kind of like our cursive, except for it looks a lot more elegant, a lot more maybe royal in the way it's like decorated and things like that. Obviously, with dark vision, you can't discern colors, but with the aid of Thorpe's light, you can see that things are decorated in a sort of like aqua blue and gold embroidery around the tomb, but none of you know what this is. It's almost like a mural, and it looks to be, based on the amount of lettering you see, probably like a short quote or something like that.
I'm gonna cast this ritual now that I see those there,
Okay.
and then once I'm done with the ritual, I'm gonna I'm gonna pull out a torch and then light it, and then go in and touch the runes.
Okay. So for 10 minutes, Lloyd sits down and
Ooh, can I short rest?
Yeah, and anyone
And
else can short
identify?
rest. Yeah, anyone else may
And a
short
short
rest while he is doing his chanting and stuff like that.
Not me though, because that's
Kai's gonna,
That is
for his
correct.
short rest, is gonna go to the familiar body of Cyrene and kind of clean it off,
Okay.
and then just tell herself what happened.
I put the skull item in your inventory there, Jimothy. You should be able to see it.
Okay,
It's called the
I'm rolling
Infested
all 9,
Cultists
by the
skull.
way.
Okay.
I can't take a short rest when I'm doing that, right?
That is correct, because you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
currently casting a spell.
Yeah.
So Kai goes up to the tomb, looks inside, and says what he says. And wouldn't you know it, there's no response.
Yay, got full health. I think that should reset my rage, but it didn't.
I don't think.
We can do that manually.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, for some reason it wasn't selected. That's why.
What do I see, Brady?
So if no one else is doing anything but resting, I know Kai just said something. Is anyone else doing anything or talking to each other?
I guess I'm taking this time to like look through the journal.
Okay. So while you're looking through the journal, you tell me if you can read this.
I cannot.
Okay.
That
I
looks like
can.
robot words.
Brady, language.
I love using language to my benefit.
Well, I guess Frederick. Why are you typing it as Frederick?
You had to click a token.
Yeah, I
You
have
you
to
chose
use a
a
token.
Oh, just any token? Got it.
Yeah. And I would rather use one of like the random things just in case it messes with your token somehow. So yeah, Thorpe, you look through it and you don't make heads or tails of any of this. Trina, go ahead and roll me a perception check while you're resting to see if you notice anything about the book as he's looking through it. Yeah, you're tending to your wounds and tending to Beltran. You do notice, obviously, that Dr. Thorpe has taken out a book and has started, like, shifting through the pages. But otherwise, you don't notice the contents of said pages.
Gotcha.
I don't like the look of this.
Lloyd, as you come out of your ritual, you start to read, and if I read correctly, it says that you can also enter written language, but you must be touching the surface. It takes about 1 minute to read one page of text. So as you're kind of deciphering as you read it, once you've deciphered everything, the long and short of it is it says, "Here lies Queen Cyrene, the liberator of the merfolk people, the destroyer of Dagon's horde, the beacon of light to the Lightbringers."
Okay. I take note of this in my journal, and then I relay this to everybody else.
She
exactly
sounds
what you-
really cool. I would love to meet her.
Is there any other inscription on the wall, Brady? Or was that it?
No, that's pretty much it. The rest of, like, if there are like the other inscriptions in there are pretty much just along the same lines. They kind of talk of her in a high regard,
Okay.
but they mostly kind of repeat themselves.
I go over to the good doctor and say, were you able to find anything from that book?
Can't understand the text. Maybe you can give it a try.
Yeah, let me give it a try. And I try to read the book.
All right. So the book is pretty much a written document, a written text of Mistra and those that follow her what her teachings are.
Okay.
And since it takes you a minute to read a single page, you could, in theory, read. Well, I guess how many minutes are you going to spend down here reading the book?
Just like a couple minutes, 3 minutes or so.
Okay. So yeah, 3 minutes, 3 pages later, you tell Thorpe that it speaks of Mistra and how she's the goddess of all magic, and it kind of speaks of her testaments to use that magic in some way to aid the world. And it begins to go deeper into other tenets of Mistra, but you stop reading for a moment.
Okay. I give a quick like interesting like and then take note of everything he just told me.
Okay.
Maybe I could use this information for something in the future.
Yes, definitely. Well, shall we take our leave? I'm not seeing anything else in the cave or the tomb.
I don't mind getting out of here.
Okay.
Yes, we need to leave.
Well,
what are we gonna do with this body? We're gonna
burn it outside.
Very well. Is there like a nearby tarp or something?
I think I have a bunch of stuff in my bag. If not in the bag of holding. Let me see.
Do I really want you putting a dead body in my bag of holding?
No. I'm saying like I have sacks or cloth or something. Is what I'm getting at. I have cloth.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I have like 3 blankets on me. No, I have 1 blanket. I have. Don't I have a bed kit as well?
You probably do inside of
A backpack. Common clothes.
Yeah, because your explorer's pack has a bedroll.
Okay, well I have an extra blanket, and I just hand the extra blanket over to Dr. Thorpe.
All right. And I put the head on top of the chest and like, I guess like, wrap the body, like roll the body over onto the blanket. And just wrap it up. Anyone care to help me?
I'll give a hand.
No. I got it.
Okay.
And that skull does not require attunement. Just so.
Oh, okay. So, I was gonna kind of get into that. So, you kind of like saw me before this, playing around with like my little toe. I like put it away in a pocket and go. So, I know I kind of drug you guys into this mess, and can't thank you enough for helping me, and hopefully you help me along the next 6. Just kind of look off. But I saved my eldest. But so this skull was in that casket, and I think it'll be more helpful to one of you than me, and quite honestly, you guys deserve it more than me. What it apparently it lets you shoot a spell 7 times a day, but if you use the last one, it disintegrates. So I would think either Kai or Dr. Thorpe. Which one of you doesn't have ranged ability? Would probably be more beneficial to you. But I'll let you guys decide.
I guess
Or
Thorpe walks up to take the skull.
or Lloyd, do you have any damage dealing spells?
Just
I mean, I ended up with Castiel's pendant. So
I'm more utility based. To be
I have
honest.
plenty of damage dealing spells.
so
The only
if you
damage.
wanted the damage output, I mean, I would offer it to you first.
Yeah, I know out of character. Yeah, I'm literally, my character's a setup character, so.
I will take the
Nothing's-
skull if that's okay.
I mean, I'm always up
No,
for more damage, but
yeah, I think this will be most beneficial in the hands of somebody that can't already do damage at range. Nothing's worth in sitting on the ground and not being able to do anything. Just being a
I
sitting
guess
duck, you
it's
know.
understood. So it gives people the ability to cast damage spells, or
I shared it for everybody so you can read it.
Oh, I put it in the chat. I thought you guys had seen that. My bad.
No,
I saw it.
Bolt's
I
a
don't know
ranged-
if they did.
Guiding Bolt is a ranged spell attack. So this basically gives you 7 charges of Guiding Bolt.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this
Then I
would,
give it to Thorpe or Kai or Lloyd.
yeah, because you have Eldritch Blast. So
Yeah, I've got plenty of damage stuff. So
yeah, I have Ray of Frost and Toll of the Dead essentially. But
okay.
those are my cantrips, so they don't do a lot of damage, and the other ones are
You'll
mainly.
probably average more damage from those too, because it's only a. Oh man, I'm getting too meta. My bad.
Oh,
I don't think your prowess in casting this spell probably won't be as high as the ones you have practiced.
okay.
From what I've learned from this
Yeah,
item.
just
It's
if they want it, I mean, I'm willing to take it if no one else wants it, but it's up to Kai and Thorpe.
I mean,
fight to the death.
it's whatever.
In theory, anyone can utilize it. And I will say, because it doesn't require attunement, as long as you are within reach of each other, someone could literally hold the skull. And as many of you that wants to pick a pedal to cast the guiding bolt,
that's
that would
dope.
be usable. So it's not going to, it's not only utilized by one person. But yeah, if you
Okay.
pluck the 7th pedal, it'll crumble.
gotcha.
Thorpe, I think if you don't have any ranged abilities, I'd say you should probably hold on to it for now. And
Like I said, yeah, I'll hold on to it for now and then.
Kai can give you. We'll just buy you a couple javelins or something.
Or we could just put it in the bag of holding, and then whoever needs it can use it.
I second that.
I would rather not, because it's harder to find things out of the bag of holding when you really need it.
Out of character, people will forget.
That as well. So Thorpe, you can take the. I hand the skull to you. I walk under Lloyd's legs. Just handed to Doctor.
Very well.
Also, Lloyd, that was so sick, turning me into a shark. Mr. Clutch. Which probably wouldn't be a saying since there's no such thing as a car. Which means there's no such thing as a clutch.
You're probably correct.
So, what do you say we get the hell out of here?
Yep.
And I pick up the body.
All right.
Back to the boat.
Yes.
Place the skull inside my pack and then make sure, I guess, help Jim like keep the body stable as he's carrying it. stuff like that.
Okay. If you could, I've made you a guiding bolt spell on your character sheet, and I'm about to make it to where, pretty sure. Okay. If you could go ahead and cast it, I want to see if it does what I want it to do. It should. Okay, it took a charge off of the infested skull value that I put under your attributes. It rolled very incorrectly, though, with the to hit. The damage is fine, but the to hit, it should only be a +5. And I'll fix that before you actually have to use it.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, anytime you're going to cast it, it'll deduct the thing off of your attributes page. You should see Infested Skull. And it, well, currently it should have 7 out of 7.
Okay.
Actually, I think I can make... Oh, yeah, sweet. I can make it take it off of the skull itself, so we don't have to use that.
I like the flavor of this item. It's really cool.
So a very use wisely kind of item.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. 7 charges is a lot. Just don't use the 7th one. Thank you.
Brady, are we back on the boat yet?
Are you guys are fine leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing in particular happens as you guys are heading out of the cave.
Oh, did we miss anything? Should we leave?
No, go ahead.
Well, on the boat, I'm just going to tell Frederick to fly above us and watch out, and just tell me if he sees anything. And then I'm going to take the remaining time on the comprehend languages to read his spell book, his other book I got in the tavern. If I can't already read it now.
Okay. So you're reading the one that you picked up, not the one Thorpe has, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The one Thorpe has, from what you could tell, is definitely the holy word of Mistra, and the one that you currently have is definitely his own personal journal. And it does take you guys, I think, 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes from getting out of the cave to get back to the town. So, let me go ahead and switch this over here. Turn down that music just a wee bit. As you're reading, Lloyd, I'm not going to go into super grave detail, mostly like bullet points kind of, but from what you can read is the book of Ricard's journal. It dates back to when he first started his journey to join the Inquisition. And given that you've got roughly, I would say it takes about 5 minutes to get back to the boat. So you've got 25 pages that you can read on your journey back before I think the spell probably dissipates at that point, maybe. But those 25 pages, you delve into a little bit about how the Inquisition, how they sort of train people. You see Ricard talking about his studies, how they talk about the teachings of Mistra, and how she has told the Archdeacon that the arcane arts need to come to an end. And he goes along speaking about how he was selected to be more of a healer, but on the side he would learn from his fellows his fellow students, the ones that are deemed more of like the mage hunters themselves. He learned how to gain access to other various spells, such as like fireball and things like that, more destructive divine magics that are very, very, I guess, locked down and regulated in the Inquisition. Not many of the Inquisitors, unless they're mage hunters, have these types of spells that allow them to deal sort of catastrophic damage. You also read somewhat of a dark reminiscence coming from Ricard, how he says that once he's learned these spells, he plans to use them against the person that did this to his face. He can't wait to kill that wizard scum.
As I slowly read this, I relay this to everybody else as well out loud.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the gist of those first 25 pages. He talks, about sort of the life in the church and how, it's a lot better than what he grew up with. So, that those that are trained to become part of the Inquisition, from what Ricard's journal says, they are definitely treated pretty fairly. But their teachings, you still think these are pretty off.
Mm.
But if you want more answers, you'd probably have to either keep reading or talk to the Archdeacon that he talks about. He doesn't name him. He just says the Archdeacon.
Okay. Then, that's all I do on the boat ride.
Okay. As you guys pull around the sort of large mounds, the sun is out in the sky. There's very few clouds, but every now and again, the clouds do cover up the sun and cast a nice little shadow. And as you round that large sort of mound, you see in the distance the boat, or rather the ship that had brought you here, in good condition. I say good because currently you can also see a lot of the sailors are currently working to patch up the holes that those large anchors had essentially put into the hull. And you can see that there are people sort of gathering around the docks, looking and watching as this all happens. And they're all kind of jittery. They're all kind of like huddled together. You can see that they're talking to each other, but you're too far to make out what they're saying. And every now and then they point at like one of the sailors that's on the side using hammer and nails to do something, and they all kind of like nod in agreement, and they start looking. And it's a decent crowd, probably 15-20 people that are doing this just off the side of the shore here.
None of these people were here before, right? It was an empty town.
No, the town, from what you saw, yeah, it didn't look like there were a lot of folks just out and about walking. But you've seen people when you first got here. So the town's definitely
after like the illusion with the inn and whatnot.
Oh yeah. The illusion, you saw nobody, and everything was destroyed and like in rundown conditions. As you're looking at all the houses now, they look normal. They don't look to be run down or bleak or destroyed.
So we put it together that the illusion was after we saw the hag or the person in the woods.
Correct. You guys get to the dock and tie it off, and the sailors notice you and kind of wave at you, but ultimately continue going on about their work.
Maybe we shouldn't bring a look over to the blanket, to town. Maybe we should take care of this on the outskirts.
Good evening.
Hello.
One of the folks starts walking towards you all. Perhaps you remember me. I escorted you to the inn. Gregor Wormwood. How could you forget?
I wasn't there for that.
You as a person, yes, you were not there, but you did meet this gentleman. This gentleman escorted you guys because he was trying to escort the Inquisition, and he mistook you all for part of the Inquisition. But nonetheless, you joined him to get to the inn. But he comes forward and says, in your absence, you have a guest at the inn. I was wondering when you all would come back. Did you all decide to go fishing, it looks like? Did you catch anything?
Nothing really of consequence.
Interesting. It's not often that we have visitors that come and instantly rent a boat. Curious that you would do so. And coming from the North Shores. He strokes his chin. Very curious indeed. Nonetheless, I have done my part, so if you would excuse me, I need to get back to the Lord Mayor. And he bows down, and as he turns around, you can see him get this sort of like crooked smile. And he starts chuckling, and he leaves the dock.
I look to everybody and say, well, I'm not going in the end because, for obvious reasons. How about...
Rosie needs to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. I look over to the blanket. What do you think that we should do with this? I'd rather not go to the inn at the moment. Do you want me to take care of this?
If you can take it to the outskirts somewhere, and perhaps I can escort you. Sure, no trouble comes about.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go to the inn.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you to the end.
All right, we'll meet back up with you in a bit.
Okay. Be safe and don't get caught.
Will do. I think Brady can still hear us, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Don't go too far off. We might need to get back together very fast.
Understood.
We'll try not to.
And now I shall take over as DM, and we make it out of this alive, unscathed. Just kidding.
And we live happily ever after.
And we found a state full of 1,000,000 gold.
Dr. Thorpe
And I found
one of the best doctors in the
awesome
world.
dagger. Oh, showing me this awesome dagger that he has in Skyrim that apparently is like an assassin's blade, and it causes like 15 times.
Oh, you're back.
And would you look at that? It's a talking dog. And he's got a flying house.
Alright, so now I'm going to do my best to kill you all. I'm going to make sure you lose 1,000,000 gold. All the daggers you ever come into possession will magically fall through the world and be uncollectible. And yeah, I think I'll turn you into worms. But Kirsten will be the DM of a one-shot next, so start prepping.
I will not. I'm not good at that.
You just said you were going to take over DMing, and that's your first objective.
No, I'm going to take over right now immediately and then decide that we're all safe. So. And then
no.
the guest that's coming to see us in the inn is Rosie.
A talking puppy.
And
Yes.
Rosie is Snoopy's side bitch.
Take that back, Joe.
Fine. Snoopy's bench.
Rosie is now side hoe.
Rosie is a lady, not a tramp.
Pussy.
Yeah, I forget who split and went where.
So Thorpe and Lloyd went to go deal with the body, and then the rest of us are heading towards the inn.
Okay. You guys choose which one we settle first.
Someone roll a D10.
See, you
choose
can DM.
I choose that Lloyd and Thorpe go first.
Okay. With that
See, I could
9,
be a CEO.
you think so? I believe it. All right, so Lloyd and Thorpe, as the rest of the party leave, the crowd is mostly around like this part of the shore, and the ship that you guys came on is docked right next to you guys, but you guys are docked on this side. So as some of you get out, Dr. Thorpe and Lloyd, describe to me what it is that you intend to do with the body.
Essentially, basically, do like a, like a medieval type burning situation where you like just wrap the body up neatly, and I guess like set up like stones around it.
Yeah.
And you're doing this on the boat or on the shore? I guess that's also what I want described.
Don't forget the coins on the eyes.
I don't really. Didn't we rent this boat or something? Or we borrowed it. I don't want to burn the boat.
You essentially came to the dock, and this was the only vessel available.
I'd rather not burn their boat. So.
Yeah, I guess we can go off to the woods real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So both of you, I assume, take the body, which is covered in a blanket, and start to move it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roll me, for both of you, do a sleight of hand, or you can do acrobatics. Essentially keeping your balance as you're moving the body and trying to keep it somewhat contained, I would assume. As you lift it out and you start to walk it down the dock, as you're going down the stairs, Dr. Thorpe, you kind of misstep and sort of trip, ultimately catching yourself and catching the body, but an arm falls from under the blanket, and as the people are murmuring to themselves, they look at it and they're like, look, look. And they start to come closer. Look, look. And you see some of the crowd starts to run, essentially cutting you guys off in a way, and they start to sort of crowd around you. Look, look, look.
I don't like where this is going.
One of the children come up and they're like, mister, where do you need to take the body? Perhaps we could do it for you. We've been looking for a fresh corpse.
No, we have this. Don't worry about it.
A gentleman comes up and puts his hand on the boy's shoulder, and as he does, we insist. We will take the body, and we will dispose of it in our cemetery. And he turns to the sort of mound where you can see a very elegant mansion. We will bury it up the way. Please, you are visitors to Bleakbell. Allow us to show you some hospitality.
I look over to Dr. Thorpe.
Look.
I think we have it.
Oh no, quite the contrary. And he sort of lifts up his tunic, and you see a dagger, and the rest of the folks do the same thing. All 20 of them show a dagger. We will take the body. And if you don't want to give it to us, I would hate to have to probably take yours. We insist.
see. Where is this look coming from?
Oh,
Like,
everyone,
a specific
like all,
direction, or is everybody saying it?
everyone, not in unison, very randomly, they say look and they point.
Okay.
And it's super easy to see all their faces, very pale, as if they haven't seen the sun in quite some time. And you can see the bags under their eyes as if they haven't slept very well for quite some time. And they all have this sort of crazed look in their eye, but they're definitely fixated on that body. Come.
Well, I look over to Dr. Thorpe. Well, I
Better
guess,
for us to give it to them.
yeah.
Any unnecessary trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all. And I do apologize. I don't know what came over me. I should have never done that to you. That was not very neighbor-like. And he snaps his fingers, and a couple of the people, they come over and they start investigating the body. One of them grabs the hand and starts to sort of rub the skin, sniffs it and licks it. Good. Good. And he kind of smacks him on the head. Not here. And they start to haul it off towards the mound. Before you leave, did you all come on that ship there? And he points to the only large ship that's currently at dock.
Yes, we have. You know anything about it?
I don't know much. I've seen it, I think, a few times. But there seems to be less crew this time around. How many are there?
I have no idea. We left with a normal amount of crew.
Would you say 15, 20, 30 even?
I really wasn't paying attention.
There's approximately around 15 to 20 people on the way here. Not sure what happened afterwards. Seems
Interesting.
we were the only ones who made it here in one piece.
Well, thank you very much for the information. Perhaps maybe we can come and visit you at the inn. Swap tales. Have a little talk. My brother runs the general store, by the way. If you need anything, I'm sure he's got a wide selection that would please you.
Love that.
Yes,
It's
well,
nice to make new friends in unfamiliar territory.
oh yes.
So I say
And
whatever
perhaps
comes
maybe we can share some of our culinary experiences with you.
up. And same for you. Still with my crooked smile.
Well, we have much work to do to get the body ready for burial. Even though we do not know this person, at least I do not believe we do, we treat them as if they were our own. We will prepare the body properly, and we will have a ceremony probably within the day. Would you like to be notified to come and watch, perhaps?
You have
Were
my
you-
curiosities. Sure.
Be at the mound, or be at the mansion cemetery at sunset. And bring an open mind.
I'm sorry, bring a open what?
Mind.
Okay. Very well. Keep note.
And they all start to dissipate, and as they do, all the townsfolk that were, saying look, they're now sort of like just giggling. Some of them are even like giving little claps. But you can see, based on their mannerisms and how they walk, Dr. Thorpe, you definitely know These folks are insane. Clinically insane, if not maddened in some way, shape, or form.
I pull out my journal real quick and note that what just happened. Then I look over to Lloyd. Oh, it seems they may have intentions of cannibalizing that body.
You don't say.
Indeed.
Well, I suddenly feel the urge to go to the inn now.
Lead the way.
Let's go.
So by the time you guys come to the conclusion of going to the inn, the other party make it to the inn. And based on whatever route you take, you don't meet any random dudes in the middle of the street telling you not to step. And once you get to the inn, in the sort of foyer, there's a lit fireplace. And you can see a chair that's rocking back and forth, but you cannot see who is sitting in it. And as you guys walk in, there is a gentleman that's currently like sort of cleaning the stairs. And he looks down. Madam, they're here. Oh, very good, yes. And this old woman stands up with her cane and turns to you all. Ah, it's so lovely to see you all in one piece. And she looks specifically at Jim and says, I'm so sorry for everything that happened in the last hour or so.
The second I saw her, like, raise my axe, and then, like, seeing her intentions kind of different, I slowly lower it.
I totally understand, child. But I want to make things clear for you and perhaps help you with your journey. But we cannot speak here. And she looks up the staircase at the gentleman and smiles gently at the man as he goes back to cleaning. It is not free of eavesdroppers, and nonetheless, that makes it unsafe. I invite you again to my cottage, but we will discuss things outside if you're more comfortable that way.
Who are you?
I have been called by the folks of this town Shaggy Vanessa, as you know. But my true name is Myrtle.
Just Myrtle?
Correct. I do not have any silly phonetics to it. Myrtle Spothook. My father was Herschel Spothook. And my mother never met.
Do you deal in worms?
And she turns to look at the gentleman who you can see now is taking note of the conversation. Why, yes. Yes, of course. Worms are the livelihood of this town. Yes, perhaps we can discuss these more at my cottage. I think I have a fresh batch. And she starts to slowly make her way towards you all. Not here. Yes, meet me at my cottage, although it does take me considerable amount of time to walk from here back there. So I will need perhaps 20 minutes head start. Unless, of course,
acceptable.
you carry me, but I do not anticipate that being an option.
Well, we got Seymour.
Oh, a lovely dog. I do not know how comfortable I would be saddling
You're
up.
probably too big. I forget that I'm a hobbit that can ride dogs. Humans can't.
So as she starts to go towards the door, Lloyd and Dr. Thorpe walk in. Oh, you two. you're safe as well. Very good to see your faces. And in one piece?
I look rather confused.
Yeah, Thorpe has his eyebrow raised and then looks at the rest of you.
We're going to my cottage
All
to
shoulders.
speak. I have worms for you.
I look to the rest of the group that was already here and say we're going to her cabin.
I guess Thorpe is like reading her body language right now, and I guess
You can roll
seeing-
insight. Based on your experience with her previously, the way that she moves is completely different from when you had met her within the last hour or whatever, however long it was. The woman you had met before, despite her old age, was very mobile. This woman is, you can tell, very different. She's got like a slight tremor. Every second step, it's almost as if she's limping. And she's definitely more hunched over this time than she was before. So, unless she's a really, really good actress, which you definitely don't anticipate that being the thing based on how awful she is moving currently, this is a completely different woman with the same look.
And then from what she's basically saying is about the worms. I'm like seeing her face, and is that ringing?
Her face does not tell you much. She says that she has worms for you, but you can't see past what the meaning is. But I will say, as you look towards the rest of the group, they all don't seem to be very concerned about her meaning.
Very well. Lead the way. Then I open the door for her and hold it open.
Okay. And she walks through. Thank you very much, dear. As I have told your friends, it will take me a considerable amount of time to get home. If you have other things that you need to do before visiting, you may. Otherwise, I will be home in roughly 20 minutes. And she starts to walk, and you can tell that she is really slow.
So basically, out of character, he was saying, yeah, before you move on to the next chapter, do everything else first.
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh.
I'm just stating that, she's letting you know that she's just slow.
Oh. Alright, I look to the rest of the group. Yes, ran into a bit of a pickle on our way back here, but everything's okay.
Very well. Well then, this way. And she starts to go. Gentlemen, lady. Coming from the top of the stairs is Ricard, but instead of a mask on his face, he's currently got cloth covering it. Perhaps maybe we could speak for a moment. I want to inquire some things from you.
I look at him and then look at the group, and like specifically look at Jim.
Kai goes up to him and talk.
Rickard, nice to see you.
Yes, and you as well.
And well.
Same to you.
I look at his face and point out the obvious, and it's like, you're missing a little something there, pal. And
yes.
I slap him on the shoulder a little bit.
That is what I wanted to talk about. It's gone missing somehow.
You don't say. When's the last place you seen it?
Well, I had gone for a shower in the bathhouse on the backside of the inn, and when I was finished, my mask was gone. So I came back up to my thinking perhaps maybe somehow I had left it, even though I knew I clearly did not, and it was not among my things. And then everything went dark. And I woke up back in the bathhouse, lying on my, lying prone, as if I had slipped and fallen, but I do not remember doing something like that. Although my head, and he, rubs his head, my head has been aching for the past hour.
Let's talk. I start walking upstairs.
Who the
Your
fuck
room
did
or
I
mine?
kill?
We need to talk in privacy.
Your
Did you say
room
that
or
out
mine?
loud?
Yeah,
I
kind of
Kai
quietly.
point. Oh, okay, never mind then.
No, you could have heard me for sure.
Oh, Kai points at him and says, "Him."
And Ricard kind of
But-
looks at both of you and, you tried to kill me?
No, I killed you.
No, we did.
Let's
Or he
talk
did.
in private.
And the gentleman that's cleaning is just staring at all of you. He's not even making it an effort to try to hide that he is definitely intrigued in your conversation.
Oh, Kai kind of looks at him and says, "We killed him with laughter."
Ricard,
Kai starts laughing because it's
I look-
contagious.
I look. I look
And
at
as he
him, and then
continues to laugh, you can see that there's sorrow in his eyes.
I move near Ricard. Like, are you able to go somewhere else at the moment?
Yes.
Come with us.
Hey, is he wearing his robes?
He is.
Like his...
Well, he's wearing a different set.
Okay. Yeah, we should definitely find somewhere a little more private.
Not here, Ricard. I'm sorry. We have to leave. Come with us.
Very well. And he starts to walk past, and the man just stands. He's now clutching the feather duster that he was using, and he just continues to laugh and look at you all as you leave. And once you close the door, you see through the window that he's got his face like scrunched up against it, and he's just staring at you, and you can hear his muffled laughter.
This kind of reminds you of that guy in the cage.
Yes. Definitely.
Guy in the cage.
We'll explain more when we get in privacy.
Okay, where exactly are you taking me?
So Brady, where would we be able to go, not exactly
saying-
like
I'd say we head towards the cottage and just
Yeah,
talk
I
on
was
the road.
Yeah.
I was gonna say take him with us to Shaggy Vanessa.
yeah.
Okay. As you guys start walking, you start to exit the town, and as you're leaving, they're staring at us.
They do that.
Yeah.
And you see a
It's been
group
while.
of people that have started to exit their homes, and they're looking at you all, and they point, look, look, look. It is very bizarre. I don't think I've ever met a township that does this kind of thing. I believe there's something going on that maybe some sort of dark magic has taken their minds.
Brady, can I roll the sense magic again?
Sure. Roll Arcana. You don't sense the same feeling that you did when you guys were at Shaggy Vanessa's hut. Feels quite natural.
Okay.
There's a lot that we inquired that maybe you can take note of.
Go on then.
I might continue as we're walking. Well,
They might have to roll for initiative depending on if they want to attack all these poor people. How we doing, Bree?
Well, let's make this clear. I killed what I thought was a hag, and when the head fell, it was yours.
Interesting. And he sort of strokes his chin. And he sort of touches his neck. Perhaps maybe that's the source of my headache? Then somehow you all killed a version of me? No, that doesn't make sense. You said a hag, one of those fey creatures. We've gone through one TPK, so another one shouldn't hurt.
It was their soul. But it was possessed in your body. What did you guys burn the body?
About that.
Yeah, where is his body?
That's a delightful question. On our way, everybody started looking at us intensely. They crowded around us. They insisted they take the body to this mound.
Why, thank you. I don't know where it's from,
at.
but I found it and it's wonderful.
Then they started pulling out knives.
I have some
There's about
other
20 of
killer
them,
tracks.
So Dr. Thorpe and I just kind of gave him the body. Also, they were looking at, like, the arms, and Dr. Thorpe thinks they're going to eat the body.
One of them licked the arm.
And I kind of just want to leave here as soon as possible.
Don't we need to find your stone?
That's, it's around here somewhere, but, like, for now, I'd rather go talk to the hag. Not the hag, but the lady at the
the hopefully not another hag.
Yes. Yes.
How fun would that be? I was just joking.
Biggest mind
So anyway,
so you
it's
killed
like the
me.
inception of killing.
I know, right?
They
So
put
you
an
killed
illusion
me,
on an illusion, on an illusion.
and then you gave my body to these people, and you think they're gonna eat it?
Yeah, that'd be accurate.
yeah, there were some threats that were thrown. They all pulled out some daggers. Say, if you don't give it to us, we will take it from you, along with your bodies.
So they're also hostile as well as mad,
Indeed, it seems.
which means easily agitated, more than likely.
Yep.
And then I pull out Ricard's mask and hand it to him.
So you got this? How, might I ask?
We were at the inn before, and no one else was there, and we saw this lying around.
There was a sound, scratches, large creature. We heard your screaming.
I never
Screaming
screamed.
Screams went out the window. When I came into the room, your mask and things were on the ground.
And you said there were scratches. I did not see any scratches in my room. And I was
Looks like
in there
somebody
just
jumped
a
from
moment
the
ago.
window.
Just remember, this can't be that surprising. We just told you that we killed you. There was some illusionary magic happening, so pretty much everything we saw makes no sense now.
It makes
All we
sense.
can do is explain why we have your thing.
He holds out his hand to grab his mask.
Do apologize for the misunderstanding.
Oh no, I am grateful that you all are, I guess, okay. Especially with all these strange occurrences. If you would give me but a moment. And he breaks off from the group and goes behind a tree, and you can hear him take off the sort of cloth that he's wearing currently and replace it with his mask. And when he comes back around, you see him come out with the mask and looking pretty normal at this point. Much better. The steel is very cool on my face. I did not like the cloth version.
You know, you don't have to hide that from us.
Right.
Just look down at my feet.
I assume the body you saw, you took a good look at the face, did you?
I saw
Indeed.
it burn.
Yes. I suffered burns as a child, but that is not the reason I wear the mask. Although it is a perk. People often stare. And I do not like it whatsoever. But the mask is part of my training as an Inquisitor. But I appreciate your sentiment. Now, where exactly are we going? You said one of the hags. There's another?
You certainly don't have to come with us. We just needed to talk privately, and we figured the road was the best place.
I don't trust the townsfolk, honestly.
And
once
after being knocked out and seeing that you've had this hell of a journey so far, and we've only just arrived a few hours ago, I don't know if it would be really safe for me to leave, especially if you say they have my body, but yet they don't. I can only imagine what they would do if they saw me walking around.
Yeah,
They'd probably see me as some sort of prophet or something.
they
It makes
are
it
gonna.
even more peculiar as well. Remember what we told you earlier about watching what you eat or ingest. There are a lot of worms in play here.
Yes, they were in the drain and the bathtubs. It was very strange. I had to clear them out and then purify the water with my magic.
Oh, no.
What do you have, Trina?
Nothing.
You sure?
It's all past too far. Like, it's just no.
No, I mean, we can retcon a little bit. Easy.
No, it's okay. I
If you
was essentially,
insist.
for like the most recent stuff, just saying like you'll find no judgment here.
Gotcha.
We all
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you cut out pretty bad.
We're all mad here.
yes.
Oh. Of course.
Is that what you were gonna say? Because that was just a wild guess.
Oh.
No, but it is tattooed on my body, so
That's what I thought.
yeah.
I knew that was associated with you. Yep.
Okay.
Well, Ricard, once again, be careful. You can join us if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll be back in town soon.
Perhaps maybe, since you all have dealings with this woman, maybe I will stay on the outskirts and observe. I think that might help lead me into the direction, and once you get back, I will rejoin you. If you do not mind, of course.
That sounds like the perfect plan.
Very well.
Oh, Do you want to try attending your own body's funeral?
I'd prefer
Oh shit,
not.
that's metagaming. My bad. I didn't hear that.
That is true, actually.
Wait, what?
Only Thorpe and Lloyd know that Ricard is having a funeral, and it's happening at sunset.
So you don't want to recover your body?
And he looks at his hands. I feel completely normal. So I don't know what exactly we'd be recovering. Although taking a look upon it would probably help to ask some questions.
Well, come sundown, we might find out something.
Why sundown?
They offered to have us attend your funeral. I hold up air quotes.
Interesting. Where is this funeral? And I would very much like to watch, but not make my presence known.
How far are we from the village at this point now?
I would say a couple 100 feet at least. More than likely halfway to the cottage.
All right, so I guess, and I would know where the mansion is, right? That they were talking about.
Yeah, there's only one really good-looking place, and it's on top of the large rock that is sort of towards the north shore.
Okay, I relay it to him.
Perhaps maybe I will go on the woods on the outskirts there and try to see what I can. I will plan to meet you there on the outskirts. And perhaps maybe this is a party that we need to crash.
Indeed. Well, we'll keep a lookout for you.
And he nods his head. Good luck with talking to your hag, benefactor? I don't know what exactly to call her.
Definitely.
Nod back.
And he turns around and starts walking back towards the
Someone-
town.
Who could
Oh man.
You are lagging
Yeah,
hardcore.
yeah. This is good. This is good.
I'm just imagining Trina like just stumbling over her words, not able to say anything.
Probably gonna leave and come back. Of course, that wouldn't fix her internet. But we can try. I'm gonna go check on Rosie real quick.
Gotta finish this.
I'll be right back. Use the bathroom.
In the land where people don't matter.
Birthday. No.
Get it fixed. I'll assume not. Well, I guess we'll get back to. Oh.
I closed out of it, so I hope it fixed itself.
Oh, yeah, you definitely sound a lot better.
Oh, good.
So what was Trina saying?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. So as you guys continue onward to the cottage, once you get there, outside, sitting on the steps, is Myrtle, and she's currently got birdseed that she's tossing out, and you can see a bunch of songbirds that come and grab some of the food and then fly away. You made it. And she puts the bag of seed on the steps and starts to hoist herself up very slowly. Where would you like to talk?
Inside's fine.
Very well. And she goes inside, leaves the door open for you guys, and she heads towards the stove and lights the fire and starts to put a pot on for boil. And as she's doing that, she gets a single cup ready, and she starts to crush some herbs and things like that and put it in the cup. And after about 2 minutes of her doing this, the pot starts to whine and whistle, and she pours a glass of tea, heads to her chair that she was sitting in when you talked to her last time, sits down and begins to sip. Well, I'm almost certain you have many, many questions, and I don't know if I have the time, unfortunately, to answer them all. But I will do my best to try to aid you, Jimothy, and hopefully you can find and free your family from these wretched creatures.
Yeah, I'd like that a lot.
I want to preface that it was not me that you were dealing with before. I swear to you, I was merely a puppet in Shaggy Vanessa's little game. She often visits me when I'm vulnerable and takes over, and begins these strange rituals with me as her scapegoat. The people of the town have known this for decades, and they have since called me Shaggy Vanessa and have forgotten who it is that I truly am. That is Myrtle Spothook.
Well, she's dead.
I don't think so, dear. I told you that I was possessed by her. And since she has been possessing me for the better part of almost my entire life, ever since I was a child, I've started to figure out ways to see and feel as if it was still me, but I lack the control that I normally would. She is in control, but she doesn't know that I'm watching, listening, remembering. And I do remember her taking you to her home, to an alternate reality of this place. A place, I believe, where Bleak Bell got its name. I remember the dreadful things she did with the silhouettes of your family, but I assure you, they were just mounds of seaweed.
What do you mean? Did she take us to a different time?
I don't quite understand her magic. I know that it is old and ancient, but apparently she took us to, I believe they call it a domain of dread. The dark place. Negative energy manifests itself there. Your darkest thoughts, your deepest secrets are free, and they are harder to suppress. Which I believe she targeted all of her energy towards you, which is why we did not see anything happen to your friends. I assure you,
felt it.
the thing that you killed was not Vanessa, nor was it Ricard. It was one of the townsfolk that had essentially been surgically altered to look like Ricard. And the thing is Vanessa did this months ago. probably so that the wounds could heal. And she used her magic to make him look as if he was your wife, to try to perhaps make you do something you wouldn't. Or perhaps prevent you from killing her and using that as a weakness to get to you. I do not understand her methodologies at all. They are far too dark and cruel for this old woman.
So she's known that we've been coming for months? How? Can she see into the future?
I remember being possessed one time and talking to a gentleman, Lord Saxon it was.
We know someone that can.
He had dealings with Vanessa, although my memory has faded. I believe that she understood that I was watching, and she was able to tune me out and block me from seeing or hearing what they discussed, but he gave pictures of each of you, and he was very detailed, I believe, in what he knew about all of you. Most importantly, Jim, though. And I also remember days after Lord Saxon's arrival, Rusty May had come and essentially threatened Vanessa to not screw up your challenge. She's been waiting for far too long to see what you are capable of. And I do not believe that you disappointed her, although you did not kill Shaggy Vanessa, but your time with her will come. I do believe you'll get a second chance.
Well, then whose soul do I have trapped in this thing?
She sort of shrugs her shoulders. She's like, I do not know.
It's a powerful soul.
Then that means that Shaggy Vanessa has many, many thralls that she has corrupted to her own will. And it would behoove you to be very careful while here and perhaps wherever you go, as I do not think she takes lightly to what you did in her little cove.
Of course she doesn't.
I mean, she set it up, so don't feel any sort of way towards that. She could have done it not in her cove, you know? So.
Very true. I want to help you, though, with not only defeating Shaggy Vanessa, but perhaps defeating the rest of them as well. You see, Shaggy Vanessa is part of a group of other hags, and they call themselves the Dreadful Seven. But
Motherfucker.
from what I remember, is they've been changed. I've not been possessed by... Well, my possession with Shaggy Vanessa has not let me probe her memories. But based upon the research that I've done my entire life on these Dreadful Seven, as well as the dealings that I've heard, the conversations between her and her sisters and cousins and such, this is a new group. And apparently the old one was disbanded long, long ago, probably before the Ruination of Boridil. And this new one, for whatever reason, I think, is led by Rusty May. But why she would send you to kill them all, it's perplexing. But I believe Rusty May took a toll for each of the Dreadful Seven. And you are to face each one of them. And I do not know if you're meant to slay them, but it certainly seemed as if Shaggy Vanessa sought your death because of her mind being clouded by the imminent betrayal from Rusty May. But that axe that you have, it should prove very useful in slaying the Dreadful Seven. But know this, Shaggy Vanessa was only an auntie. And I do not know if you know much about hags or their hierarchy, but aunties are nothing compared to grandmothers. And they are even nothing still to great-grandmothers, which the Dreadful Seven has too. One of them is Rusty May.
Rusty May.
The other one I do not know. I've not heard her name being spoke. I've only heard her be called the Green One. She coughs. Dear, I believe my time has come. And she drops the cup, which is about half full. Please, would you do me one last favor? I know I do not...
Can I ask you one?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Is that book about me real?
I believe it is. It was created by Rusty May.
Long ago? Or as a...
I believe it was created a century ago, yes.
Okay. Now, what's your favor?
And she points to the cupboard. Inside the cupboard, you will see a glass vial filled with liquid. What I would like you to do is when you leave, light it and throw it through the window.
I just got back, Brady. What's been going on?
Oh,
We've been talking to the
Myrtle.
old lady.
Yeah, Myrtle has told Jim some very good information about Rusty May and the Dreadful Seven, who she believes, and Myrtle believes that Rusty May is essentially having Jimothy either eradicate them or just visit each one of them to beat their challenge, but it's unclear. But based on how Shaggy Vanessa took the whole thing, she feels that Rusty May is trying to have Jimothy kill the members of the Dreadful Seven, even though Rusty May is one of them.
Okay.
I can burn your cottage down if that's what you really want.
I believe that this place manifests Shaggy Vanessa's spirit. And should you kill it, and should it be burned, she will not be able to possess me nor my soul, as my body is failing after that tea.
Can you explain the worms?
She kind of squints and she goes, I don't exactly know. It's only been happening for a month or two now, that all of a sudden the people of Bleakbell have seemed to gone mad. They cultivate these worms within their own homes and in their yards, and have even come to me for ways on how to make them larger and bigger and more nutritious. I think it has to do with that stone.
Do you know where the stone is? I look towards Lloyd.
I believe that you could
No, I
find the
don't know.
stone in the Pearl Song Mansion.
And is that the biggest mansion in town, I'm assuming?
It's the only one. Alicia Pearlsong is the owner and the rightful heir to the Pearlsong Pearlery. I don't actually know what you would fucking call pearl farmers or like whatever.
Burlery's great.
Yeah, pearlery.
They're literally just called pearl farmers and
Okay.
pearl farm.
But
What was the lady's name again?
Alicia Pearlsong.
Oh.
Alicia? Okay.
She is a very cruel woman, though. I do not believe that she would even mention the stone should you ask her, but it fell in one of her pearl farms, and when she had found it, the people of the town thought it a gift from God, and they have begun worshipping it. They try to make it a secret, but Shaggy Vanessa can see a lot of things. And unfortunately, I've seen some of the tragedies. Many deaths. And these worms. Dreadful.
Myrtle,
Yes,
are you
dear.
able to cast spells?
And she shakes her head no. I am but a common woman. Blessed with old age, but cursed with a cruel companion.
Dang. I wanted you to be able to help me rid the dreadful seven from this world.
I would love nothing more than to be slain by your axe in order to help you, but I do not believe that it would be of help. But
No,
I do offer my body as a way of you to relieve your anger, if you wish.
No. It was only for you.
And she coughs in her hand, and as she brings it out, you can see her shaking palm is filled with blood. It seems that my tea has took. At any moment now I will cease. If you would,
Why did you poison yourself?
to make sure that Shaggy Vanessa would not be able to stop you from burning this cottage. If my body is dead before you commit to the task, she will be powerless to stop you, and it will take her far too long to be able to traverse back to this plane. You see, I am the catalyst.
That's quite noble.
This house, I believe, used to be hers, but every time I try to leave, I find myself back. It's an odd existence, but one that I've had to accept. And since you have defeated her spirit and kept her from this place for long enough, I have finally been able to beat her. Thank you all. And good luck on your journey. And your children, they are healthy, but they need their father.
I'm doing what I can.
Go now. And she's breathing heavy at this point. And she slouches back in her chair, closes her eyes, and her head leans back, and you see her take her breaths very large. And her chest stops moving.
I'd like to take a look around real fast, Brady.
All right.
What do you want me to roll, and/or what do I see?
I guess it really depends. What are you trying to find?
I wasn't really here for the beginning part of the description of the house. I'm not sure if it.
So the house, pretty much just like your normal run-of-the-mill cottage. It's a single room. It's got a Dining table in the middle. There's a stove on one wall with a bunch of cupboards that look to house a bunch of herbs. It's got a fireplace with her comfy chair next to it and a bed. And other than that, there's nothing super remarkable about it. Outside, there's a small garden, mostly of herbs again. But other than that, there's nothing really of value here.
Okay.
And if that's it, perhaps we should begin burning as requested.
You won't make it. I'll come for you, Jim. The corpse of Myrtle has started to move very slowly, and the eyes are bloodshot, and you can see her nose is bloody. She's bleeding out from her mouth and her ears and from her eyeballs, and she's slowly moving her fingers. All of you roll a perception check. Lloyd, for sure, you see that she is casting a spell, and it is one that she was casting when you guys were fighting her in her cove.
Oh, I'm gonna cast Counterspell then if I see that.
Okay.
For some reason, all my spells are gone.
It's probably because you don't have any, maybe? Spells. No, you've got... Counterspell is a...
Yeah, you've got empty.
It's not empty for me.
I want to cast Counterspell. I see I have spell slots, but I can't read. There's no descriptions unless like it's collapsed or something.
Yeah, you do have spells. Do you upcast it at all, or just 3rd level?
I'll do a 5th level.
5th level, okay. So as she's casting her spell, you counterspell it, and the spell ceases. And after a few moments, she begins to cast it again.
By that time, I would definitely throw the Molotov cocktail.
Okay.
Or can I attack her between, or...
You can if you would like.
I see that he's failing that. I'm casting Counterspell too. Like if she's casting it again.
So Jim goes in to attack.
We're all still in the building?
Unless you start moving out.
Oh, I guess we would all have movement to leave.
Exactly, yeah. Like, he can counterspell it and then you can leave.
Yeah, so I would say when he counterspells, it says, "Get out of here," and I light the thing and throw it in.
Okay. He counterspells. Unless anyone does differently, I assume everyone leaves the premises. Close the door. Jimothy lights the Molotov, essentially, and tosses it through the window. And it catches rather quick.
Hold on. I say to Shaggy Vanessa, you can try, but you'll never get me as long as I have D's.
And she just, as the fire starts to burn the cottage rather quickly, you can hear her. You can hear her croaking, but you can't hear her. And the cottage begins to burn. And as you guys sort of step back from the flames, because they are pretty intense up close, It's a nice, lovely, like sort of reddish orangish color. But after 10 seconds, it turns black. And you can hear laughter. I'll come back for you, Jim. I just have to work on getting back first. Don't forget me now. Your time will come. And I will bring these with me. These children of yours, of course. Mark your days. Your family will all perish for your sins. I guess actually she'd probably say transgressions. She doesn't care about you being a sinner.
I'll be waiting.
And the laughter continues.
And those aren't yours.
The laughter continues and it echoes throughout the forest. And the cottage goes down in a matter of minutes before the fire turns from that dark black color and goes back to a normal sort of orange, dark red color.
What was she trying to cast?
Whatever it was, the 5th level spell slot made it dissipate instantly.
Did she cast Cloud Kill or did we stop her?
When she cast it in that battle, you guys stopped her.
Okay.
Counter spell for the win.
Seriously.
Brady is now realizing that every bad guy that he creates needs to have counter spell. I learned that lesson the very hard way. They fought
Counter
my
the
BB.
counter spell.
Yep.
And then counter the counter spell, then the counter spell.
It's like Uno.
Lord
with reverse.
Saxon Carlisle has counterspells.
Oh, that's right. But then we countered his counter spell.
Yeah, you did.
So Brady, I heard this homebrew rule that was if you ever counter a counter
do a
spell,
wild
you
magic.
roll them. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going
maybe
to
I-
adopt that.
Because that is so legit and makes so much sense.
I have
In
to
my
find.
campaign, any
my-
counter spell, I'll roll a d20, and on a 1, or maybe a 20, I don't know which one, it'll roll on the table.
I think I found. Oh, I have a better one. I probably have to make a table for it, but I've got a. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll just probably paste a link into a journal. But I have a resource that has, I think, 10,000 wild magic effects.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you roll 4d10?
No, you just roll a
No.
D, whatever it is.
Yeah. And
Uh,
it just chooses for you one of the
this
things.
is- Magic Surge. Oh, here's a website. You literally just click it and
Yeah.
it rolls a random one for you.
Yeah, I thought it was a website from before. we
Yeah.
used.
Yeah, we'll definitely be using either that or I'll make a table that's got more than just the normal one, because the normal one, it's great, but it's boring.
I mean,
So-
there's some pretty... Hell yeah, add more, but what the hell? Why did my camera turn
Hi,
on?
Joe. I'm glad you were decent.
think I'm not
Exposed.
That was funny.
I don't know how or why that happened.
I
Just
don't have an
Taking
answer
a
for you
shit
either.
or something.
Yeah, we'll
All
use
right.
this website.
So
'Cause I think it's
counterspell
got-
and counterspell does that? That's
Yeah.
a good. good thing.
We'll probably do the roll a d20, and on a natural 1, it procs it, just like the normal wild magic rules.
All right,
it a
let's
D?
retcon that shit. Roll the d20. Roll the d20.
Wild magic sorcerer. Anyway, so as you guys are starting to
On my
leave,
sheet.
no.
Someone like.
You're
remoted
not
into my
in.
computer?
No, you
I
just probably had
left.
to restart. Yeah, I had to restart my thing, so probably have to do as well.
Damn.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, so as the cottage burns, it's still a decent fire right now, but it's definitely not strong enough to catch fire for like the forest and cause anything like that to burn down. What does the party wish to do at this point?
And I'm still looking at the flames with a hand in my pocket. Then what time is it right now? That time's right,
like
right?
Correct, yeah.
My mouse was moving by itself and like clicking on shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
man.
probably.
Have you been hacked?
Someone remoted into my IP. That'd be.
Or it's a good ghost.
Probably your
Was
mouse is
like-
just on. Is it a wireless mouse or wired mouse?
Wired.
Maybe the connection
I think
cable.
it was my mouse pad, or it has a touch screen, so something was haywire because it stopped.
Okay. So yeah, anytime a counterspell is used on a counterspell, a d20 will be rolled. I'll probably just have you guys roll it every time. And if it's a natural 1, we will then roll on the magic surge table. But I'll roll the magic surge table because then
Sick.
it'll be more fun.
Let's
Surprise.
see what happens from his last counterspell. Do it.
Target can do nothing but scream for 1d8 rounds.
Oh man. Oh.
For 2 rounds. I'm just joking.
Do nothing but scream. That's bad. Holy
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Hey, I
Now-
do that.
Now, Brady, this is kind of important. When it says the target, is it the person casting counterspell, or the person that?
I would say whoever's. So, like, if you're casting a spell and someone counterspells you, and they counterspell your counterspell, the counterspell that's being countered, that's the target.
Okay.
So you guys, if you were to actually do it, kind of like if Shaggy Vanessa, for instance, had counterspell, and Dr. Thorpe's like, I cast counterspell, and she counterspells the counterspell, you roll a d20, and if a wild surge happens, it happens to Dr. Thorpe. Likewise, if like Trina or Lloyd then counterspell Shaggy Vanessa's and it rolls a 1 on the d20, another magic surge happens to her. So it's whoever is
Failing.
getting
So
their
it's a
counterspell countered.
Yeah.
So it's a D20, even if it's a counterspell. It's every
Correct.
counter. Okay.
Or no, it's not every. It's only counterspell on a counterspell. Not a counterspell in general.
Oh. So it's a 5% chance on every counterspelled counters.
Correct.
Okay. I'm doing it more harsh on mine. It's every counterspell sets it off, and every counterspell is a 5% chance.
Oh.
Because I'm thinking like they're trying to cast something, and in the middle it like makes a rift of the spell and
That makes sense,
explodes in
yeah.
the face. But okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think we're as hardcore here, so.
We die from combat a lot easier.
True. Okay.
With all that out of the way.
Yeah, so now the cottage has burned. You know, there's a low fire at this point. What does the party wish to do?
Well, killed her enough times for one day, don't you think?
Well, the real
Seriously?
question is, where's a safe spot to rest? Can't very well go back to town now, could we? With all
Why?
the eyes looking at us.
Man, fuck them dudes, bro. What are they gonna do?
Gang up on us and stab us to death.
I bet you could kill them with one spell.
Use us to feed their little worm.
Put worms in us and make us their thralls. Plenty of things,
I
honestly.
guarantee you could kill the entire town with.
I sort of need some of them alive to tell me where the stone's at.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying. I don't think we need to be fearful of the common.
Not saying fearful, it's just...
It would be in our best interest to avoid any casualties.
yeah.
Man, I'm in the mindset of this town already have been dead all the way, so. Let's find your rock.
That's what I want to do the most, but then we have to worry about our masked companion, quote unquote.
As far as I'm concerned, he's already dead too. Just kidding. Let's not kill him. Let's not kill him. You know, do you remember when I think I killed her the first time? No, second time. She's like, oh no, it was Rusty May that said it's gonna be a bad look on us because everybody's dead.
I don't know if they're just taunting us with that. I don't know what's really going on here.
Because why would she say that if it's not the truth?
I'm not assuming or believing anything they say, so.
I know.
Well, it does have my attention. It is intriguing that we were stuck in a bit of an illusion, or, as Myrtle said, an alternate dimension of some kind. But I do have my curiosities with what has the townsfolk so driven mad.
I think it's the stone.
We'll have to see.
Yes, we do need to see what will happen later on this evening as well. That does pique my interest.
What time of day is it right now? It is 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 3 in the afternoon.
So we roughly have a few hours before we have to start heading towards that location we were invited to. So if there's anything that you all would like to do before we head towards that direction.
Not in particular. Other than
I
read this book from that I picked up off our masked fellow. But
is it kind of rude to still have
he
that?
doesn't know I have it. And I still want it.
Should you give it to him?
Yeah, eventually. But I think this is a prime opportunity to, I'm not sure how close he is to us now, but I'd like to...
Let's not forget that, like, he's hunting you. Like, the Inquisition's on its way to, like, kill us.
I wouldn't say us.
Well, remember when oh yeah, you weren't there, but we lied and told them that you were our overlord or whatever.
That feels like a bit of
We're
embellishment.
gonna. Yeah, we did embellish. We're trying to say that you mind controlled us and stuff.
Why would you put
When
me in
he,
a worse spot?
I thought you told us to do that.
No, not at all.
Well, just kidding. That didn't happen.
Thanks, Jim. I'm gonna read this book now. I'll meet up with you guys in a little bit.
We did that so that we could get out and save you. We figured the only way to make ourselves seem innocent and get out of here to help you later was to lie.
I start casting my ritual.
Hey, yum, yeah, yum, yeah.
Perhaps we should set up a camp nearby. Just to have somewhere to sit for a little while.
I take it the general idea is to wait it out until sunrise in this area.
Or yeah, sunset, yeah.
Sunset, yeah.
Or yeah, sunset, my bad.
Yeah.
So if anyone
Isaac.
has any ideas of what you do while you wait, be formulating them. Otherwise we will go ahead and get to Lloyd reading that book.
I sit next to Kai and go, oof, he did not take that the way I thought he would.
Boy, do you need help reading those books? What
Very
languages
mysterious man.
I don't know what language it is. But I.
Well,
can
let me see.
decipher.
Maybe.
You can tell what it is.
Oh, you can just read
Oh
this?
yeah, I know this language. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you want to help me read it, sure.
Okay. So I'll help Lloyd.
Do you know
Then-
actually what it is, or you just know that you can read it?
I know that I can read it.
Okay, it's
So
celestial.
it must either be. Oh, so it's celestial. Okay. So yeah, I can read it.
Whatever,
Okay.
I'm just setting up a little small dinky fire. It's a temporary fire.
Okay.
I take her because I was reading out loud to her essentially. I go back to where I left off.
Then I think Kai and Jim were having a conversation.
Kinda. I was just like going, oof.
Oh.
I thought that was part of the plan. Probably shouldn't have told him that one, I guess. All I was trying to say is that we're in as much shit if we get caught with him as he is.
I mean, you didn't lie to him. That is true. But it's not all bad, I don't think.
It's better than us all being dead, you know.
That is true. And thankfully, what's his face is not dead. And I kind of do a gesture to my face, like with the mask, like I'm wearing a mask or whatever.
Yeah, that helps.
I'm gonna go
for
let
sure.
Rosie out, and then I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let her sit out there for a little bit.
He's kind of nice to have to speak on our behalf, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can have him vouch for us in the future.
Yo, I really need that book that apparently Gower has.
What book?
The Prophecy of Me?
Was that not on his body? Oh no! Oh no! Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Gower, not Rickard.
Yeah, they all look the same to me.
Same.
How do you plan on taking it?
Gower... I'm not sure yet. You gotta
Maybe.
understand. What you gotta understand is my motivation is pretty strong, as you guys saw.
I know, but are you ready to handle such powerful information like that?
Anything that helps, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's a prophecy, you might not like what you see. You okay with that?
It's a good point, but if it could help at all, that's. I don't care what happens to me at this point. So, and even if the prophecy says something that I don't want to hear, I can fight my best to make it untrue.
I like that.
So,
Not leaving your fate up to a book. That's actually really good.
no. Yeah. If fate is real, then I don't even want to believe in it.
Now, you actually have me intrigued now, because maybe I can find out about this issue that I'm having.
What's your issue?
I
You haven't talked about it much.
point towards my eyes and how they're still red.
Oh. Hey, so where are you from? Because we never really addressed that much of how you just appeared out of nowhere with a big ass minotaur.
Technically, I'm from Boridil.
Which Boridil is the name of the world? Like the
Oh, I
planet
thought it was
itself?
the name of the nation.
No, you are from the Yodian Empire.
I'm from there. The Yodian
Which
Empire.
I don't know. Am I aware of a Yodian Empire?
No, you guys, all of you have never even heard of such a thing.
We don't
The Murph.
know. Well, that's not a place. Did you hear her say the ruination of Boridil? Does that mean anything to you?
It
Not
does.
really.
Kai, you would actually know sort of the cliff notes of the events that transpired for the ruination.
Oh, so he's aware that his whole world was destroyed?
Yeah, I would say I'm unaware of that.
Yeah. He knows that certain events have happened, but he probably doesn't know that they happened specifically to like where he's from.
I see. Well, I've never heard of is that a big empire? It must be small. Because we were just at the biggest city that exists.
No, it's not small at all. It's actually pretty huge.
And
Made
it's,
up of
it's the Elven's main, like the main Elven kingdom.
Oh, okay.
I relay that to you.
Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I think we have some puzzle pieces missing here.
Not really. I was captured, and I've been I don't know. You remember when we first met? That thing was torturing me for the longest. Finally had a way to get out, and as you saw, it fought me, and I've been here ever since. Still trying to piece everything together, but when I was in there, it didn't seem that long.
How long did it seem?
He kind of shrugs his shoulders. Maybe like a month or so.
What would? Yeah, I don't know, man. What... Are you trying to get back to the Yodian Empire?
Well, right now, my main objective is to figure out this, and I again point to my eyes. And
Is this new since you've met us?
mm-mm,
Okay.
this is the first time that it's actually showed itself in this form. But no, this is not new. My original goal was to find out what happened to my brother and finally meet up with him, but I already know what happened with that, so outside of that, trying to find out what's going on with that. And then Kai gets up, does like a little heroic pose. I'm gonna be the greatest warrior ever.
I believe it.
It's his ninja
Nope.
way.
And I'm gonna be the angriest warrior. Or
You can be angry. You can be angry, just not the best. I'm gonna be known for the things that I do.
Well, I'm sure if you help me exterminate the Dreadful Seven, that will be echoed in eternity.
His eyes start to light up.
I mean, the fabled strongest hags in the land, it's pure evil, exterminating those.
He kind of gets discouraged a little bit as you say that, and shrugs a little bit, and it's like, oh, that might be a little too hard. As fun as it sounds,
If
just
I
seeing
hadn't
what they did to you and what they're doing to you is just, I don't know.
I'm not gonna do it all in one day.
Oh, well, that's true. Well, if
but
they're
that's
anything like the
what
Demon Lords,
I'm doing.
no, that sounds pretty good. I might start there, but if they're anything like the Demon Lords, I think I'll be okay.
You're cool with fighting demon lords, but not the hags? You're one badass little kid there.
And don't you forget it.
I won't.
Okay.
What you guys reading over there?
Yeah, the book, it's not too terribly long. So with the aid of Trina, you're able to essentially read the rest of it. Because a lot of the entries end up being very, mundane. Like, oh, today I did this, this, and that, and this is was for dinner, and yada, yada, yada. But the basic gist of what you get for the rest of that is that Ricard has shown great promise in his abilities, not only as a healer, but in his martial prowess as well. And he showed so much promise that he was eventually taken in by Gower himself, which, according to Ricard, he is the most famous and the most powerful inquisitor that the church has ever recruited. And he's been told by Gower himself that he could see him taking his place at some point in time. So he wants to train Ricard himself. And you keep seeing him talk about how this is just the path required for him to finally get what he wants. Revenge on that damned wizard that took my face from me. You also see him talk about a lot of the a lot of the things that the Inquisition started to make him do, specifically interrogations. A lot of the people that the Inquisition was interrogating did not show any form of magic or arcane ability. Instead, one of the tasks that they had to do was for one Inquisitor in training to be looking for the works of other Inquisitors in training and essentially frame innocent people as a way to control the general populace and instill fear from the church, but also to show that they are on the people's side. So it's like this very convoluted, evil, cruel way of them to just gain control of the entire empire through these lies and deception. And Ricard notes in there that he's not particularly happy with those things, but he understands the necessity. You then get to more modern events and how excited he is to partake on this personal quest from Gower. From what he's been told is that he's going to be going to Gower's hometown of Bleakbell. And he's going to have to investigate like what exactly is going on there and to determine if it is necessary or not for it to be eradicated. Which he does put in there that he hopes that that's not the case. He would like it to be essentially cleansed so that Gower can come back, hopefully to visit family or whatever. But then he also notes the last 2 days and how he saw, or how before he left for this mission, he was told specifically to be expecting a powerful wizard on this vessel, and that the moment that that wizard shows himself, he's to report it. This wizard's name is Lloyd. Gower knows he's on the vessel, and he writes that he did just that. After your battle, the first thing he did was go and contact Gower, let him know that Lloyd has been found. He then says that it shouldn't be but maybe a day or two before those three get here. And if that happens, I hope they're as far away as possible, because that is not a show that I wish to see. And he hasn't written in it since.
Well, I look at Trina and say, well, upon hearing that, I do not care for our masked companion anymore. I'm going to find that stone and get out of here.
Once we figure out exactly what's going on here, we need to be as far away as possible
Honestly,
before they get here.
Yeah, honestly, if the stone isn't here, I don't care about this place. So,
We've been told that it's here, though.
and yeah, if it's not here though, I'm just leaving. So, I'm ready to go when you guys are. I get up.
Is it time already?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. We essentially did like a time skip.
Yeah, and at
Since
this point,
Lloyd essentially would have to take a minute to read each page, as well as to recast it probably a couple times, and Trina helping him. It probably takes a whole like maybe 2 hours or so to read the entire book and to actually like understand what it is that it's saying.
And at this point now, while all this is going on, Thorpe was just sitting there next to the little small fire he made and just staring into the flames. Just pretty much meditating and chilling.
Okay.
I look for where that laughter is coming from. If I
The
hear
only
it.
people that hear that laughter is Kai and Thorpe.
Then I am motioning towards everyone to get up, or I'm going to start walking off on my own.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, Thorpe is still in a bit of a trance looking at the flames.
I say, Thorpe, what's going on?
And then he, after like a little bit, finally blinks, comes back to his senses, and then gets up. Everybody ready to leave?
Yep.
Yes.
Very well. And I kick dirt onto the fire, put it out, and like wipe off my pants and everything like that.
Okay. As you guys start heading towards the town, the sun is setting, and despite all the harsh and weird things that you've seen with this town, it definitely casts a very beautiful sunset. And as you start to get within 200 feet of the entrance to the town that you guys came on, you guys see, dressed in black robes, the townsfolk, and they're gathered sort of at the entrance of the town, but they've made sort of a pathway with their bodies, and they're all standing there with buckets in front of them. And as you all approach, one of them looks up. "They are waiting for guests. Our esteemed guest, Alicia, has called upon them. Alicia. Guests, follow the path to her. Follow the path to her." And they start to chant, and they take their hands, place them in the bucket, and start tossing worms in the path.
I gingerly step around the worms as I proceed forward.
I like to step around the worms as well.
Okay.
Hold on. So they're laying out the path with worms. You said.
Correct.
Okay, I pay it no mind. I just keep going
Yeah, I'm
and follow the path.
I give us a brief smile to the person who was pretty much welcoming us, and then I go back to straight face and just start walking the path.
I knew this was coming.
So as you guys are walking down this path, they're throwing the worms in front of you, and the worms burrow extremely quickly as you're walking across them, but all of them don't seem to mean you any harm. They're all dressed in black robes. They don't have any other distinction. You can see all their faces are super pale. They've got these blank stares. Most of them are actually drooling as they're doing this, as they're sort of chanting these weird sounds. As you get to the base of this mansion, you can see that there's a fire that was lit on the back side of it. And the townsfolk, their little line, their little corridor that they've made for you, stops at the base of the stairwell. And at the top, you can see the one gentleman that has been talking to you guys, dressed in the same black robes. And as you come closer, our esteemed guests have finally arrived. We've been waiting for you. You took much too long in the woods.
Thorpe looks at him still with the trance-like stare. He's just like, "Lead the way, please."
Please, the funeral is just about to begin.
I look to the individual. Can I ask you a question before we begin?
Sure.
Are you aware of any stone that fell from the sky near here?
He looks at you and he smiles. I think she has your answer.
Well, lead us to her. I have questions.
Okay. So he starts to walk towards the cemetery, and there you see a bonfire, and around it you can see all of these hooded figures, and they all have their hands outstretched towards this fire. And in the middle of these, there's like a sort of a staircase and a stand, and there's a woman dressed in red that is up there. And she has blonde hair, and she's standing at the top, and she is chanting as well. And Lady Pearl Song, our esteemed guests have arrived. And she finishes her chant and turns around, and you can see she's got this sort of like, think of a woman that has a bunch of mascara on but just cried her eyes out. She's essentially got that look going on for her. And she comes down and says to you guys, I'm very glad that you were not harmed by Shaggy Vanessa. We tried to talk her out of it, to tell her that we would take care of you, because that is what they want.
They?
They. The ones in the stone. The stone you've come to find, have you not? The one that's fallen from the moon itself and graced us with a new way of life. She reaches down into her pocket and pulls out a bunch of worms. Feast, please.
I have more questions about this stone.
All will be answered when we present you to her. When you are presented to them, you will know the power of the stone. It has changed us. It has shown us what life can be. It has shown us what a poor existence this place is. But it has given us the power to change it. All you have to do is feast. And she again offers you worms.
One more thing before that. The Bonnie that was taken here, where I thought we were coming here for that ritual.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that what we should be doing first?
It has already begun. And she points to the bonfire. And you start to see in the center of it, you can see, not crucified, it's more of the X shape, like the flayed man from Game of Thrones. You can see that, and you see a body strapped to it. But inside of the fire, you can see these large worms, probably about the size of your arm, feasting on the corpse. They like immense heat. These ones, they're almost juvenile.
Almost.
We've been taking very good care of them. And she will show you too. The stone will show you too.
Can I see the stone now?
Of course. But we have to go deep in the earth to find it.
Well,
And she
that's
offers you
why
a
I'm
worm.
here.
Would you not wish to be awakened before seeing the stone?
Is there a way I can be awakened later?
And she looks towards the worms. As you wish. I have been instructed to take you to the stone, take you to her, take you to them. All of you are to come, as all of you have been chosen. You all will be the ones to lead us to our new lives. We are at your beck and call. And she bows down and ends up scattering the worms, but keeping one so that she can eat it herself. Follow me, please. And she starts to walk towards the center of the cemetery, and you see a bunch of the cultists behind you, or from the crowd that led you up. They're starting to follow you and come up, and they have these short swords that are pretty much curved. Think of
Or like Game of Thrones with the
yeah,
Guitars or
yeah. Think of
like
those.
sword
Yeah,
stuff.
just curved, like it's essentially curved all the way through to a point.
Like
oh, like a ceremonial, like
yeah, like a jagged
like
blade.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Oh,
they've got
is it
these.
Chris?
yeah, Karis or
KRIS.
Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing. So they're walking behind you, chanting. They don't seem aggressive. They're just following you, and they go into the center of the cemetery, where she where she exposes one of the grave sites there. And when she does, you hear a clicking sound and then stone rubbing against other stone, and there's a mausoleum that opens up. And she points to it and says, "You will find what you seek down there. We are to remain here and finish our traditions. For," and she looks up at the sky, "tonight is the night of the comet. Tonight is the night that the world changes. Tonight is the night that we are all freed of our mortal coils. We will seek our absolution in the sky, as the stone has shown us. And we will finally be set free." And they all look to the sky, and they start to chant with their arms raised up. And at this point, they seem to have forgotten that you exist.
I'm sitting there, looking at her for a long period of time with a straight face, and then slowly turn my head and look at Lloyd.
Yeah, Kai's gonna look at Lloyd again with kind of like a little devilish grin on his face, and you also know that his eyes are glowing red. And I ask him, "You sure you want this stone?"
I need the stone.
All right. And Kai starts to go down towards the mausoleum.
I'm still looking at Lloyd, and I gesture. I put my hand out, like gesture, like after you.
I step forward first through the threshold of the pathway.
Okay, and you can hear echoing throughout the entire way down, "Correto, correto, correto." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Okay. Where's this chanting and stuff from?
It's from Resident Evil 4.
I never played Resident Evil. I'm sorry, I never did. It was like what? It was always like I didn't have a lot of like the Nintendo 64 or like the early PS games, and then like
This one was on the
over.
GameCube originally.
Yeah, I skipped a lot of those games, to be honest.
They're remaking it for VR, and it's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah, they're remaking a lot.
That chanting is perfect for this situation too, because
I know.
They're saying to die is to live, to die is to live. That's what they're chanting.
Lovely.
To die is to live. To die is to live.
Did she just like tell us to go in a bomb shelter? Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, we're going in a mausoleum.
We will find out next time on Dragon
Dragon Ball Z.
That's what it sounds like to me. That's my guess. And that's why everybody was dead.
Oh, I did go ahead and add into the little graveyard Shaggy Vanessa as being killed.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. I could add quotes if you want.
Shaggy Vanessa.
For the second time.
An asterisk.
Yeah, an asterisk. Somewhat killed.
To die is to live. To die is to live.
So I'm gonna end my stream. I will be right back, and then we need to discuss what we're gonna do for next week. So be right back. All right. So thank you everyone for coming out. Hopefully you enjoyed. Things are about to get really, really weird because next week, actually next session I should say, the party will be fighting the Starspawn. They're going to be fighting the cultists that have found this rock that came from the moon, they think, but it didn't come from the moon. It's kind of a neat concept that I've been playing with. I've always wanted to do kind of like a fantasy space invasion kind of thing, and that's pretty much what this could turn out to be, depending on how things go with this moon rock. But hopefully we play it next week. We might be doing a one-shot or like a PvP style thing. I'm not exactly sure. But we hope to see you regardless. So until then, peace.